Let's analyze the situation coolly. You are standing in front of a radio set. Your goal is to listen to a specific station, say classical music on 98.0 FM. However, the dial is set to 105.0, where there is only static. Faced with this technical problem, most people do not act like rational operators. Instead of moving the dial, they start negotiating with the radio. They yell at the machine. They explain why they deserve to listen to music. They make promises. If you play music now, I promise to dust you tomorrow. They kneel and plead. Finally, when the radio continues emitting white noise, they conclude that the device is cruel or that the universe is an unfair place where music is reserved for a select few. If you observe this scene from the outside, you would not feel pity. You would feel perplexity at the lack of logic. You would immediately understand the error. They are trying to solve a frequency problem with tools of morality. The radio is neither good nor bad. The radio has no favorites. The radio is a mechanism that responds to precise physical laws. If you are not on the frequency, there is no sound. Period. Intention is irrelevant. Alignment is everything. Welcome to Stop Asking, Start Tuning. The purpose of this audiobook is to dismantle the most costly superstition in your life, the belief that your relationship with reality is an exchange of favors. We live under an obsolete philosophical paradigm that tells us that if we ask hard enough or if we are good people, reality will reward us. This is a childish view of existence. It is the magical thinking of someone who believes that if they smile at gravity, it will not let them fall off the cliff. But gravity does not negotiate, and neither does the law of resonance. The universe, or the quantum field if you prefer the scientific term, is not an entity that judges your merits. It is a neutral, omnipresent information system. It is a vast architecture of waves and potentials that operates under one immutable principle. Like attracts like. You do not get what you ask for, you get what you are. Or to be more precise from a pragmatic perspective, you get what you are in vibrational resonance with. If your predominant internal state, your dial, is lack, anguish, or need, it is mechanically impossible for you to experience a reality of abundance. It is not a divine punishment. It is a physical impossibility. It would be like trying to pick up an FM signal with a receiver configured for AM. The two channels exist simultaneously, but they do not touch. Therefore, asking is an inefficient act. In fact, asking is counterproductive. From a vibrational logic, the act of asking reaffirms the absence of the desired object. You only ask for what you do not have. By asking, you emit the signal of I don't have. The system, which is an impartial mirror, receives that signal and returns more circumstances that confirm your I don't have. The loop closes perfectly. Your petition creates your lack. This audiobook is not a shoulder to cry on or a collection of empty hopes. It is a technical manual for the operator of consciousness. We are going to treat your body and your mind as what they biologically are, a high-fidelity bioreceiver. Your nervous system is not just a tool for processing pain or pleasure. It is an antenna designed to filter reality. At this moment, there are infinite versions of reality happening all around you, opportunities, solutions, paths that are invisible to you, not because they don't exist, but because your reticular filter and your emotional state are blocking them. They are background noise for your current configuration. You have spent too much time shouting at the machine, hoping that reality will bend to your desires through willpower or supplication. That is exhausting and, what's worse, useless. It's time to stop behaving like a crying child and start behaving like an engineer who adjusts. You do not need more faith, you need more precision. You do not need to shout louder, you need to tune better. Put your hand on the dial. Observe the static without judging it, simply as an indicator that you are out of range, and get ready to move. The music has been playing all this time. Let's go find it. Chapter 1. You are an antenna, not an island, the bioreceiver. The physics of the invisible dismantling the illusion of flesh. To operate any complex machine, you must first read the technical manual and understand the physical principles under which it operates. You cannot pilot a plane if you believe it flies by magic. You must understand aerodynamics. In the same way, you cannot operate your reality if you continue to believe in the biggest and most persistent superstition in human history, the superstition of solid materialism. Your biggest obstacle to tuning into the life you desire is not a lack of talent, nor your finances, nor your past. Your biggest obstacle is your blind, unwavering faith in what your eyes tell you. Your physical senses are wonderful tools for immediate survival, for not crashing into a wall or knowing if a fruit is rotten, but they are terribly limited instruments for perceiving the totality of reality. Look at your hands right now. Knock on the table or the chair you are sitting on. Your senses send you an immediate report. This is solid. This is dense. This is static. This is separate from me. Based on this sensory report, you build your philosophy of life. I am a small, fragile body moving in a universe of hard, indifferent objects. To obtain something, I have to physically fight these objects, move them, break them, or accumulate them. This is the Newtonian view of the world. And while it works for building bridges or playing pool, it is absolutely false at the fundamental level where reality is created. Modern physics has proven beyond a doubt that solidity is an optical and tactile illusion. If we had the technology to magnify your vision 1,000,000 times, and you looked at your own finger, you would not see skin, you would see cells. If we increased the power, you would see molecules. If we went down further, you would see atoms. And this is where reality collapses. We were taught in school an atomic model that resembles a solar system, a nucleus in the center, and electrons orbiting around it like planets. That model is useful for basic chemistry, but it is incorrect for quantum reality. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a basketball located in the center of London, the first electron would be orbiting on the outskirts of the city, perhaps 20 or 30 kilometers away. And what is in between? What fills those 30 kilometers of space between the nucleus and the electron? Void. 99.999999% of your body, your chair, your house, and your bank account is empty space. You are, literally, a ghost. You are a column of void organized by an invisible intelligence. So why don't you pass through the chair? Why do you feel the impact if you hit the table? It's not because the matter is solid. It's because of force fields. What your nerves register as touch or solidity is, in reality, an electromagnetic repulsion. The electrons of the atoms in your hand have a negative charge. The electrons of the atoms in the table have a negative charge. And like two magnets of the same pole that you try to push together, they repel each other with a brutal force when they get very close. That repulsion force is what your brain interprets as solid. You are not touching the chair. You are floating above it at an atomic distance, suspended by an electromagnetic force field. Why am I telling you all this physics? Because I need you to understand pragmatically that you do not live in a universe of things. You live in a universe of frequencies. The empty space around you is not empty at all. It is a dense, vibrant, and chaotic soup of information. It is the quantum field. In this very instant, in the exact spot where you are sitting, hundreds of radio waves, television signals, cell phone microwaves, cosmic radiation from dead stars, neutrinos, and gravitational fields are passing through you. If you had a radio receiver and turned it on, the silence of the room would fill with music or news. The music was there before you turned on the set, right? You didn't create it by turning on the device. You simply made it audible. You are that device. The first philosophical and mechanical premise of this book is, you are an antenna, not an island. Modern biology is beginning to accept what the ancients knew. The human body is a high-technology bioreceiver. Your DNA is not just a chemical code for building proteins. It is an oscillating fractal antenna, capable of receiving and transmitting electromagnetic information. Your nervous system is a network of biological fiber optic cables that conduct electrical impulses. Your pineal gland has calcite and piezoelectric crystals capable of transducing frequencies. Your heart generates a measurable magnetic field that extends several meters outside your body, touching and informing everything around you. You are not in the universe, you are part of the fabric of the universe. You are a processing node in a vast information network. You are constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, sending a signal to the field and receiving a signal back. The problem, and the reason why you have to read this book, is that your antenna has a manufacturing defect in its default configuration. the survival filter. Your brain processes approximately 400 billion bits of information per second, but your conscious mind can only manage about 2,000 bits. If you were conscious of everything that is happening right now, every radio wave, every temperature, every sound, every quantum possibility, your brain would fry, you would collapse. To protect you, your brain has a very strict nightclub bouncer, the reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS is a filter at the base of your brain that decides what information enters your consciousness and what information is discarded as background noise. And how does the RAS decide what is important? Based on your beliefs, your fears, and your programming. If your basic programming is, the world is dangerous and money is scarce, your RAS will automatically block any information that contradicts that belief. You can be walking down the street and pass by $1 million business opportunity, or cross paths with the love of your life, and literally not see them. Your physical eye will capture the photons, but your RAS will delete the image before it reaches your conscious mind, because it does not match the scarcity frequency you have programmed. For you, that opportunity did not exist. It was invisible. It was a radio wave that your antenna did not pick up. However, you will clearly see the bills, the crisis news, and the faces of angry people, because that does match your dial. You live in a reality tunnel created by your own tuning. The world is not what it is. The world is what you are capable of perceiving. This is the tragedy of the modern human being. They live surrounded by a banquet of infinite possibilities, but they starve because their antenna is only calibrated to detect crumbs. The law of attraction has been badly explained. It's not about you being a magnet that attracts things from the other end of the universe to you. That implies distance and time. The truth is more immediate. Those realities are already here. The version of you who is healthy, rich, and happy exists right now as a probability wave in the quantum field, superimposed in the same space you occupy now. It's like 104.0 FM. It's in the room, but you are vibrating at 98.0 FM, the limited version. You don't have to attract 104.0. You have to tune into it so that it stops being an invisible wave and becomes a tangible experience. Stopping asking means stopping shouting into the void. Starting to tune means assuming responsibility for the engineering of your own antenna. It means understanding that if there is static in your life, it is not the fault of the station. It is the responsibility of the dial operator. In the second part of this chapter, we will dissect the components of this dial. We will see where the buttons are, what each one does, and how you have been unknowingly emitting an SOS signal that the universe has been faithfully responding to with more emergencies. The engineering of the internal dial. How you operate the machine. If we accept the premise that we are bioreceivers navigating a sea of frequencies, the inevitable pragmatic question is, where is the damn dial? How do I change the station? You don't have a physical knob on your ear. Your dial is subtle, internal, and composite. Your electromagnetic signature. The unique song you sing to the universe every second is composed of 3 main layers or controls. Most people try to change their life by manipulating only one of them, thought, and that is why they fail. To tune into a new reality, you need to align all 3. Let's analyze the anatomy of your transmission. 1. Thought, the electrical signal, the direction. The brain is an electrical generator. Every time you have a thought, your neurons fire an electrical charge. This is the masculine or directive part of the signal. Thought defines the information and the direction. It is the request to the cosmic catalog. When you think, I want financial freedom, you are sending an electrical signal with that information to the field. But here is the problem. A thought by itself is a very weak signal. It's like a whisper in the middle of a hurricane. You can think, I am a millionaire 50 times a day. But if you have 60,000 thoughts daily, and the other 59,150 are automatic, unconscious, and focused on how expensive everything is or how tired I am, your net signal is poverty. The electrical signal of thought only works if it is sustained and coherent, laser, not if it is intermittent and dispersed, light bulb. 2. Belief, the operating system, the input filter. If thought is the signal you send, belief is the filter that determines what you allow yourself to receive. Beliefs reside in the subconscious. They are thoughts you have thought so many times that they have crystallized into automatic truths. They are the hardware of your antenna. Imagine your thought says, "I want a healthy relationship." But your subconscious belief, installed perhaps in your childhood from watching your parents, says, "Love hurts and is dangerous." You have a conflict of signals. Your conscious mind, the pilot, wants to go right. Your subconscious mind, the autopilot, turns left to protect you from the danger of love. In a conflict between desire and belief, belief always wins. Why? Because belief has the force of survival. Your nervous system prioritizes your safety over your happiness. If it believes money or love are dangerous, it will sabotage any attempt to get them. Tuning requires, therefore, not only thinking nicely, but hacking and rewriting the operating system, something we will explore in depth in later chapters. 3. Emotion. The magnetic amplifier, the power. This is the secret that escapes the intellectuals. If thought is the electrical signal, emotion is the magnetic charge. The heart is the magnetic generator of the body. Its field is up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. Emotion is what gives volume and thrust to the signal. It is the carrier wave that transports the thought information through space. Here is the formula for transmission. Thought, clear intention, plus emotion, elevated energy, new reality. Think about it pragmatically. What is the predominant emotion in your daily life? If you spend the day in stress, frustration, impatience, or fear, you are emitting a low-frequency but very high-power magnetic signal. Fear is a very intense emotion. It is a shouted request. When you obsessively worry about something you don't want to happen, you are doing what is called a negative prayer. You are visualizing the disaster, thought, and charging it with visceral terror, emotion. For the universe, that is a priority purchase order. You have tuned the disaster station with perfect clarity, and when what you feared happens, you say, "I knew that was going to happen." Of course you knew. You asked for it. You tuned it yourself with the precision of a chaos engineer, the principle of resonance. All this operates under an unavoidable physical law, resonance. If you have 2 tuning forks or 2 guitar strings tuned to the note A and you strike one, the other will automatically start vibrating even if you don't touch it. The energy is transferred by sympathetic vibration. But if the second tuning fork is tuned to the note C, you can hit the first one with a hammer until it breaks, and the second will remain silently motionless. There is no resonance. There is no energy transfer. There is no shared experience. You are a tuning fork. Your reality is the other tuning fork. If you are vibrating at lack and need anguish asking from the void, it is physically impossible for you to resonate the abundance string in the universe. They are different notes. The universe can only return experiences that are in your same vibrational octave. It will return more debts, more unforeseen expenses, and more feeling of almost there but not quite, because that is what resonates with your "I need" signal. The practice signal audit. To stop being a passive recipient victim of circumstances and become an active operator of your destiny, your first task is not to do anything external. It is not to work more hours or look for another partner or start another diet. Your first task is a frequency audit. For the next 24 hours, I want you to become a spy on yourself. Do not try to change anything yet. Just observe. Set random alarms on your phone. When they go off, stop and ask yourself the engineer's question: what signal am I emitting right now? Scan your 3 dials. Mental. What was I thinking about? Was I brooding over a past argument? Was I worrying about an imaginary future? Or was I present? Emotional. What do I feel in my chest and stomach? Is there contraction, heaviness, anxiety, survival signal? Or is there expansion, lightness, gratitude, creation signal? Physiological. How is my body? Are my shoulders tense, my jaw clenched, my breathing shallow? Your body is the physical reflection of your signal. You will be horrified to discover that probably 80% or 90% of your waking time you are emitting static. You are emitting signals of survival, defense, and lack. And you will ask yourself, how could I live like this for so long? But that horror is good. That horror is the awakening. You cannot change the station if you are not aware of what music is playing. The alchemical pivot. Once you detect that you are emitting white noise or fear stress, do not judge yourself. Do not add guilt to the mix. Guilt is a low frequency. Simply say, "Wow, I am broadcasting on the victim's station. Interesting. I don't want to listen to this." And apply the alchemical pivot. Pause, take a deep breath. Break the physical pattern. Get up, stretch. Neutralize, accept the present moment. This is what is now and it is okay. Stop fighting the static. Tune in. Deliberately choose a thought or memory that makes you feel a little better. Do not try to jump from depression to euphoria. It is impossible. Jump from depression to calm, from anger to neutrality. Turn the dial up 1 millimeter. Every time you do this, you are recovering control of the ship. You are stopping being a character in the dream to become the dreamer. You are stopping asking the radio to change the music, and you are starting to put your hand on the dial. You have taken the first step. You have understood that you are biological reception and transmission technology. You have understood that the solid world is an illusion and that the only reality is frequency. But knowing this is not enough if your environment is designed to keep you asleep. We live in a noisy world. Your signal is constantly being interfered with by the signals of others, the news, social media, the complaints of your colleagues, the chaos of the city. This is what we call wave interference. Chapter 2. The white noise, why you don't hear the music. The anatomy of interference. How stress hijacks your signal. If we accept the premise of the previous chapter, that you are a biological antenna immersed in an ocean of information, an immediate and painful question arises. If the signal for my success, my health, and my love is already here, sounding in the air, why the hell don't I hear it? Why, if I tune my intention, do I keep receiving silence or confusion? The answer is not that the signal is weak. The answer is that your level of background noise is deafening. In telecommunications engineering, there is a critical concept called the signal-to-noise ratio, SNR. For a transmission to be clear, the power of the signal must be significantly greater than the power of the background noise. If the noise increases, even if the signal is perfect, the receiver will only pick up static. The message is lost. The music turns into an unintelligible screech. You are a receiver with a severe signal-to-noise ratio problem. You live in the noisiest era in human history. And I'm not just referring to the acoustic noise of traffic or construction. I am referring to vibrational white noise. The white noise in your biological system is composed of 3 toxic elements that saturate your bandwidth: stress, cortisol, information overload, and reactive doubt. Let's analyze the mechanics of this hijacking. When you are in a state of chronic stress, worried about money, being late for work, mentally arguing with someone, your nervous system activates the fight or flight response. Your brain shifts gears. It moves from alpha waves, relaxed, receptive, creative, to high beta waves, fast, reactive, narrow. Biologically, this has a purpose: to save your life. If a tiger is chasing you, you don't need to be creative or intuitive. You need to be fast and solely focused on the threat. In a survival state, your antenna contracts, literally. Your blood vessels constrict, your muscles tense, and your electromagnetic field, the torus emanating from your heart, shrinks, clinging to your skin. You stop emitting a broad signal and stop receiving information from the quantum field. You disconnect from the cloud and begin operating only with the local hard drive, your memory, and your past fears. This contraction makes you blind to opportunity. You can have the solution to your problems right under your nose, but in a high beta state, your filtering system, RAS, will block it. It will only let you see what confirms your danger: more problems, more threats, more reasons to run. Stress is the ultimate signal inhibitor. It's like trying to download a 4K movie using a 1990s modem connection while someone is talking on the phone. It's not going to happen. But the noise doesn't just come from within. It comes from an environment designed to keep you in high beta. We live in an attention economy that monetizes your fear. Every time you turn on the news, you receive an injection of noise: wars, viruses, crises, murders. Every time you infinitely scroll on social media, you receive noise: comparison, inadequacy, indignation, cheap dopamine. Your brain is being bombarded with thousands of inputs per minute that shout, "Alert! The world is dangerous. You are not enough. Look at this." This constant bombardment creates a permanent layer of static around your consciousness. It is an electromagnetic fog. You think you are thinking your own thoughts, but in reality, you are recycling the ambient noise. And here enters the third component of white noise: reactive doubt. Doubt is not a rational thought. It is wave interference. When you have a clear intuition, a ping from the universe that tells you, "Call this person," a counterwave immediately arises. What if I bother them? What if it goes wrong? Better not to do it. That counterwave cancels the original signal. It is called destructive interference. Two waves of equal magnitude but opposite direction add up to zero. Silence. Paralysis. You have spent years emitting a signal of desire, "I want this," and, milliseconds later, emitting a signal of noise, "But it's not possible." The net result is zero movement. The universe doesn't ignore you, it simply cannot distinguish your melody amidst so much noise. You are humming a song while banging a saucepan. To stop asking and start tuning, your number one priority is not to learn esoteric manifestation techniques. Your priority is signal hygiene. You have to clear the air. You have to reduce the background noise so that the subtle voice of your intuition and the melody of your new reality can be heard. It's not about adding more things to your life, more courses, more books, more efforts. It's about subtracting. The tuning process is, fundamentally, a process of subtraction. Just as a sculptor removes excess marble to reveal the statue, you have to remove the excess noise to reveal your natural frequency. Your natural frequency is high, clear, and powerful. It is only buried under tons of mental debris. In the second part of this chapter, we will put on our cleaning engineer suit. We are going to audit your environment and your mind with necessary ruthlessness. We are going to identify the noise generators in your life, people, habits, and places, and we are going to implement shielding protocols. You will learn to build a mental Faraday cage, a protected space where the world's signal cannot enter, and where finally, after years of static, you can hear your own music. Signal cleaning protocols shielding your receiver. We have diagnosed the problem. Your antenna is saturated with interference. Stress, toxic environment, and information overload are creating a wall of white noise that prevents the signal of your desire from reaching you, or from you perceiving it. Now, let's move to the technical solution. We need to reduce the noise drastically, and to do that, it's not enough to try to relax. We need active defense protocols. We need to build a security perimeter around your mind. Below, I present 3 signal cleaning protocols that you must implement if you want to operate as a high-fidelity receiver. Protocol 1. The hypo-informative diet, the noise fast. Most people watch what they eat because they understand that junk food harms the body. But they devour junk information without any filter, failing to understand that this harms the vibration. The news, gossip, political controversy, videos of accidents or fights. All of this is rotten food for your antenna. They are frequencies of fear, anger, and helplessness. When you consume this first thing in the morning, you are calibrating your dial to the frequency of a hostile world for the rest of the day. Your task is to initiate a noise fast. For the next 7 days, you are going to radically cut the flow of non-essential external information. Zero news. If something truly important happens, a world war, a meteor strike, you will find out. People will tell you. You don't need to monitor the tragedy in real time. Social media cleansing. Go into your Instagram or TikTok and purge. If an account makes you feel envy, inadequacy, fear, or anger, unfollow it, ruthlessly. Your feed must be a sacred space that only shows you inspiration, beauty, education, or healthy humor. Car silence. Stop filling every second of emptiness with podcasts, radio, or calls. Try driving in silence. Let your brain process. Let the empty space appear. It is in those silences that the universe often slips in its messages. By reducing the external noise input, you will initially notice something unsettling. The internal noise, your own obsessive thoughts, will sound louder. It is normal. It's like when you turn off the noisy fan and suddenly hear the dripping faucet. Don't panic. That is the first step to healing. Let the internal noise out, observe it, but don't feed it with more external noise. Protocol 2. The shield against vampires, human environment management. People are the most powerful frequency transmitters in your environment. By the principle of resonance, if you spend time with people who vibrate in complaining, victimhood, or cynicism, your antenna will synchronize with theirs through sheer entrainment physics. You will end up thinking like them, feeling like them, and getting the results they have. You have to audit your circle. Make a list of the 5 people you interact with most. Next to each name, put an arrow, up or down. Do you feel expanded, energized, capable after talking to them? Arrow up. Or do you feel drained, small, doubtful, or irritated? Arrow down. If you have many down arrows, you have a serious interference problem. Those people are signal inhibitors. I'm not telling you to abandon your family or fire your childhood friends tomorrow, although sometimes it is necessary. I am telling you to manage the dose. If you have a friend who is a constant complaint radio, reduce the exposure time. Don't give them 3 hours of your Saturday. Give them 20 minutes and protect yourself vibratorily. Do not share your dreams or intuitions with them. Their doubts, that's impossible, be realistic, are viruses that will infect your signal. Guard your frequency like you would guard a newborn baby. It is vulnerable. Do not expose it to the cough of a sick person. Protocol 3. The mental Faraday cage, the start and end block. A Faraday cage is a metallic structure that blocks external electromagnetic fields. Inside it, there is no cell signal or radio. It is a space of absolute silence. You need to create a temporary version of this for your mind, specifically at the 2 most critical times of the day, when waking up and when sleeping. Your brain is most suggestible at these times, theta, alpha waves. If you let the world's noise in right when you wake up, checking email in bed, you have lost the day's battle before it even began. You have surrendered your dial to the world. The golden rule. The first 20 minutes of the day are sacred. The phone is forbidden. The outside world does not exist. Use this time to emit your signal before receiving anyone else's. Tune your frequency, gratitude, intention, silence, visualization. Set the tone. Today I will vibrate in calmness. Once the dial is fixed, you can turn on the phone. The last 20 minutes of the day are for cleansing. Do not take the day's noise to bed. Do not fall asleep watching the news or arguing. Use this time to let go. Visualize taking off a dirty suit, the day's energy, and getting into the sheets clean. Program your mind to receive answers in dreams, as we will see in Chapter 5. The result of the cleansing. When you apply these protocols, something miraculous happens. The bandwidth is freed up. Suddenly you have mental energy, you have clarity, and most importantly, you start hearing things that were previously hidden by the roar. You start hearing the subtle voice of your body saying, "Don't eat that." You start hearing the brilliant idea for your business whispering, "Do this." You start noticing the synchronicities, numbers, coincidences, winking at you. The music of the universe was always there. But now for the first time, you have turned down the volume of the noise enough to perceive the melody. You have stopped being a broken radio that only emits static and have started being a tuned instrument. Now that we have cleaned the interference, we are ready for the next step. We are ready to understand that the universe is not a silent void that ignores your pleas. Chapter 3. The illusion of silence. The universe never falls silent. The myth of the mute sky, living in a library without knowing how to read. We have established that you are an antenna. We have cleaned, or at least identified, the white noise interfering with your signal. Now, with the receiver slightly clearer, you face a paradox that has tormented humanity since the beginning of time. If I am such a sophisticated receiver, and the signal is out there, why do I still feel that no one is responding to me? You launch a question into the air. Should I take this job? You wait, and all you hear is the hum of the refrigerator. You ask for a sign. If this person is right for me, give me a sign. Days pass and nothing spectacular happens. And then the old wound of abandonment opens. You reach your linear mind's logical conclusion. The universe is silent. God is indifferent. I am talking to myself. This conclusion, although emotionally valid, is technically false. The problem is not the absence of transmission. The problem is a fundamental format error. You are waiting for an answer in a human language, words, logical phrases, booming voices, but the universe does not speak Spanish, nor English, nor Mandarin. The universe speaks in pure data. It speaks in physics, in geometry, in sensation, and in probability. Saying the universe is silent because you don't hear a voice is like saying the internet doesn't exist because you can't hear Wi-Fi. Information is flowing at terabytes per second through your body right now. Emails, videos, bank transactions, text messages, all of that is in the air. It is real. It is dense. But if you don't have a decoding device, a cell phone or a computer, to you, it is silence. The illusion of silence is simply your current inability to decode the data packet being sent to you. We live immersed in a symphony of information. From the perspective of information physics, the void does not exist. The so-called zero-point field is a sea of boiling energy. Every subatomic particle is in constant and instant communication with all other particles in the cosmos, quantum entanglement. This means that every thought you emit subtly alters the network, and the network responds. It always responds. Newton's third law, action-reaction, does not only apply to billiard balls, it applies to consciousness. To every vibrational action corresponds a universal reaction. The universe is an instant biofeedback system. It is an intelligent mirror. If you look in the mirror and make a face, the mirror instantly returns the face. It does not think whether to return it. It does not judge whether the face is pretty. It simply reflects you are shouting, "Talk to me." And the universe, through your current circumstances, is shouting back, "I am talking to you. Look at your life. This is what you are saying to me." The silence you perceive is, in reality, a response you don't like or don't understand. Your empty bank account is not silence. It is a message. It is data. It is telling you your current frequency regarding money is contraction and fear. Here is the exact reflection in physical format. Your back pain is not silence. It is a shouted message. It is telling you, you are carrying a responsibility that is not yours. Let it go. The person who doesn't call you is not silence. It is a very clear message. It says, this is not the direction. There is no resonance here. Redirect your energy. The first step to breaking the illusion of silence is to accept a pragmatic truth. Everything is communication. Empty events do not exist. Dead times do not exist. The universe is a continuous conversation, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The license plate of the car in front of you, the song playing in the supermarket, the phrase you hear as you pass two strangers, the sudden thought that assaults you in the shower, the feeling of heaviness upon entering an office. All are data packets. The tragic mistake is that we have been educated by Hollywood and by literal religious scriptures to expect the burning bush effect. We expect the sky to open, a beam of light to descend, trumpets to sound, and a deep voice to tell us, "John, quit that job and open a bakery." Since that almost never happens, we assume there is no guidance. But infinite intelligence is much more efficient than that. It does not need expensive special effects. It uses the law of least effort. It uses what is already there. It uses ordinary reality to encode extraordinary messages. It's like a spy passing you a secret message in an ordinary newspaper. To the rest of the world, it's a newspaper. To the trained agent, it's a mission instruction. Your daily life is that newspaper. If you learn to read between the lines, you will discover that you are being guided with millimeter precision. You will discover that you have never, not for a second, been alone. The loneliness was just blindness. Imagine you are lost in a foreign city. You don't speak the language. People talk to you, signs indicate directions, loudspeakers give announcements. There is noise, there is information everywhere, but you feel anguish and silence because you don't decode the meaning. You feel the city is hostile, but the moment you learn the language, the noise turns into guidance. Ah, that sign says exit. That person is telling me be careful. That speaker says the train is arriving now. The city did not change. You changed. You stopped being a scared tourist and became an inhabitant. In this chapter, we are going to learn the language of the universe. We are going to stop looking for the voice of God and start reading the subtitles of reality. The universe never falls silent. The universe is a tireless narrator who is describing your destiny in real time. The problem is that you have the volume low, or you are waiting to hear it on the wrong channel. The language of the universe is composed of three main dialects: visceral sensation, the internal language; symbolic synchronicity, the external language; flow and resistance, the language of physics. I will teach you to differentiate a coincidence from a message and paranoia from intuition. You will learn to turn your daily life into a chat room with the source. The universal decoder, learning the three dialects. If the universe doesn't use human words, what does it use? It uses energy in motion. And that energy, upon colliding with your reality, takes forms you can perceive. To tune in, you must become multilingual. You must master the three dialects with which reality communicates with you. Dialect 1, the internal language, the visceral ping. This is the most direct, fast, and reliable channel. It is the direct red line to the central office. The universe usually doesn't speak to your head, where your fears and logic live. It speaks to your body. Your body is the antenna hardware. Before your conscious brain can process a piece of data, your nervous system has already reacted to it. We will call this message the ping, like a submarine sonar. You are facing a decision, or you meet someone new. Suddenly to ping, you feel something. It is not an articulated thought. It is an immediate physical sensation. There are two basic types of ping: expansion and contraction. It is a binary code, yes or no, 0 or 1. The contraction, the cosmic no. You are thinking about accepting an invitation. Immediately you feel your stomach tighten, or your shoulders rise an inch, or your breathing becomes shallow, or you feel a subtle energy drop, as if someone dimmed the lights. Your logical mind may say, you should go, it's a good opportunity, important people will be there. But the universe, through your body, is shouting at you, error, danger, disalignment. Contraction is reality's way of telling you that this frequency is not compatible with you right now. If you ignore the contraction and go, you will encounter obstacles, boredom, or problems. And then you will say, I knew it. I felt I shouldn't go. Exactly. The message arrived. You chose to ignore it. The expansion, the cosmic. Yes. An idea arises. I should call Mara. You feel a lightness, a little skip in your chest, a feeling of openness. Even if the idea is scary, logic, the body feels forward moving. You feel curiosity. You feel flow. That is a go. It is a green light. The universe is telling you, energy is available here for you. Follow this trail. Decoding practice. Stop making decisions with pros and cons lists. That is limited mind. Start testing decisions with your body. Say out loud, I will accept the job. And watch your body in the next 2 seconds. Does it close or open? The body does not lie. The body is connected to the field. The mind is connected to the past. Dialect 2. The external language, symbolic synchronicity. Sometimes you are so disconnected from your body, too much white noise, that you don't feel the ping. Then the universe turns up the volume and uses the outside world. It projects messages onto your reality screen. This is what Jung called synchronicity. A synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence that is statistically improbable and has personal relevance to you. You are thinking about traveling to Paris. You open Instagram and the first thing you see is a picture of the Eiffel Tower. You go outside and a girl walks by wearing a t-shirt that says bonjour. You go into a coffee shop and French accordion music is playing. A friend calls you and tells you their cousin just moved to France. All of this within a 24-hour span. The skeptic will say, it's a coincidence, it's the reticular activating system. You just notice it more. The tuner knows the truth. It's the algorithm responding. You have tuned the Paris frequency, and reality is starting to reorganize around that frequency. The universe is telling you, I hear you. The line is open, Paris is an active possibility. But beware. Synchronicities are not always literal traffic signs. Sometimes they are mirrors of the internal state. If you constantly see accidents, people fighting, or broken things, the universe is telling you, hey, check your vibration. There is chaos in your signal. This is what you are projecting. It is not a prophecy that something bad will happen to you. It is a diagnosis of your current emission. It is like a dashboard turning on the check engine light. Thank you, universe, for the warning. I will calibrate my inner peace. How to read the symbols. You don't need a dream dictionary or a numerology manual. The meaning is personal. If you see an owl, what does the owl mean to you? Does it scare you? Then it's a warning. Does it seem wise to you? Then it's a confirmation. The universe uses your database of symbols to communicate with you. It does not use a standardized universal code. It uses your own subconscious language. Dialect 3, the language of physics, flow and resistance. This is the most pragmatic and brutally honest dialect. How do you know if you are on the right path? Measure the friction. In physics, if you push an object and it moves easily, it means there is no friction. You are going downhill. If you push and it doesn't move or it requires titanic effort, there is resistance. The universe speaks through ease and difficulty. The flow, green light. You decide to do a project. Suddenly you find the perfect partner at a dinner. The bank approves the loan quickly. You find the ideal location cheaply. Customers call before you open. This is the universe saying, authorized, clear path, total alignment. Reality steps aside to let you pass. The resistance, red light. You decide to do a project. The partner backs out. The bank loses the paperwork. You get sick on the day of signing. The location has leaks. You, in your fight and effort mentality, say, the universe is testing me. I have to prove how much I want it. I'm going to tear down this wall. Error. The universe does not test you. The universe does not play games with you. The universe is telling you, stop. Not this way. You are going to get hurt. It is not the time, or it is not the way. Constant resistance is not a challenge. It is a message of redirection. You are trying to open a door that leads to a cliff, and the universe, which loves you, is blocking it, and you, stubborn, are trying to break it down. The wise tuner knows how to surrender to resistance, not as a failure but as intelligent listening. Okay, this door is locked. Understood. I won't force the lock. I'll look next door. Ah, look, there's a window open there. The check-in log exercise, logbook. To become fluent in these 3 dialects, you need practice. Your task for this chapter is to start a communication log. For the next 3 days, treat your life as an investigation. Write down in your phone or a notebook every time you detect a message. 10 m. I thought of Juan and he sent me a WhatsApp. Synchronicity. 2 p.m. I was going to buy that course, and my computer crashed 3 times. I felt heaviness. I decided not to buy it. Resistance ping. 6:01 p.m. I saw the number 111 and felt peace. Confirmation. At first, you will feel like you are making it up. But by writing it down, you are training your RAS, reticular activating system, to look for more messages. You are validating the connection. You are telling the universe, I hear you, I noticed, keep talking. And when the universe feels heard, it starts speaking louder and clearer. Suddenly the feeling of loneliness disappears. You walk down the street and feel that the wind, the lights, the sounds and the people are part of a choreography that dances with you. You understand that you are part of the fabric. The silence has been broken forever. You no longer live in an agonizing monologue. You live in a fascinating dialogue with the intelligence that moves the stars. But there is a problem. Now that you hear the voice of intuition, the ping, you will face an internal enemy that will try to imitate it. A voice that sounds similar but leads you to disaster. That voice is fear disguised as intuition, paranoia. How do you distinguish the real warning? Don't get on that plane from neurotic fear, I'm afraid of flying. It is a vital distinction. Following fear shrinks your life. Following intuition saves it. Chapter 4. The first ping, intuition versus paranoia. The imposter in the cockpit anatomy of 2 voices. Welcome to the fine calibration laboratory. In the previous chapters, we have achieved something monumental. We have accepted that the universe is a constant transmission of data. We have cleaned the white noise from your environment and learned that reality speaks to you through visceral sensations and external synchronicities. But now that you have started listening, you encounter a new and much more insidious problem. A problem that has caused millions of people to abandon the path of tuning and return to cold logic. The problem is this. Inside your head there are two voices, and they sound suspiciously similar. You are about to board a plane. Suddenly you feel a knot in your stomach. A thought crosses your mind. Something is going to go wrong. Is it a premonitory intuition, a divine warning to save your life? Or is it paranoia, the simple neurotic fear of flying, activated by a news item you read yesterday? You are meeting someone new. You feel a resistance. Is it your intuition telling you that this person is toxic? Or is it your trauma of abandonment raising walls so that no one hurts you again? If you make a mistake in the diagnosis, the consequences are disastrous. If you confuse fear with intuition, you will live a small life, locked in a cage of imaginary security, fleeing from wonderful opportunities because you felt bad vibes. If you confuse ego desire with intuition, you will launch yourself off cliffs chasing mirages, convinced that the universe told you so, only to crash. We urgently need to learn to distinguish the pilot, your higher wisdom, from the scared passenger, your ego reptilian brain. And the good news is that although they sometimes say the same thing, watch out. They have radically opposite energetic signatures. They are different frequencies on the spectrum. We are going to dissect the anatomy of the message so that you never get confused again. The first ping, the speed of light. The most defining characteristic of genuine intuition is its speed. Intuition does not travel through normal neural pathways, slow chemical synapses. It travels through the quantum field, non-local information. Therefore, intuition always arrives first. We will call this the first ping. It is that split second before your brain has had time to process the scene. You walk into a room and, in the first millisecond, you know the atmosphere is hostile. Ping. You look at a person and before they say hello, you know they are trustworthy. Ping. It is a complete information packet downloaded instantly. It is not a linear thought. Let's see, they look nice, so. It is a holistic knowing. It is safe. Fear, on the other hand, is slow. Fear needs data. It needs memory. It needs to build a case. Fear starts speaking a few seconds after the ping. Ping, intuition. Take that trip. 3 seconds later, fear. But it's expensive. What if you lose your job? What if you get sick there? Remember what happened to your cousin. The golden rule of tuning is, the first voice is the spirit, the second voice is conditioning. The spirit does not doubt. The spirit does not debate. The spirit informs. The ego debates. The ego argues. The ego is a litigating lawyer trying to convince you of something. If you are having a mental debate in your head with arguments for and against, that is not intuition. Intuition never participates in debates. Intuition delivers the message and retreats into silence. The emotional load, neutrality versus drama. This is where most people fail. We believe that intuition is emotional. We say, I feel very strongly that I must do this. Beware. Emotional intensity is often a sign of attachment or fear, not intuition. Genuine intuition is surprisingly neutral. It has a quality of calmness, of matter-of-factness. It is like a GPS. The GPS tells you, turn right. It doesn't shout, for God's sake, turn right or we will die. It simply gives you the data. It is a quiet authority. When you have a real intuition about danger, don't go down that street. You don't feel hysterical panic. You feel a cold, sober clarity. You stop, turn, and change route with robotic efficiency. Paranoia, on the other hand, is histrionic. It is charged with adrenaline. It makes you sweat. It makes you ruminate. It tells you a detailed horror movie. If you don't go down that street, you're going to get mugged and they will take everything. And if the message comes wrapped in cellophane of anguish, anxiety, or excessive euphoria, be suspicious. It is likely your wounded inner child screaming, not your higher self guiding. The physical location, gut versus head. As we saw in the previous chapter, the body is the antenna. Intuition is usually felt in the hara, lower abdomen, in the solar plexus, pit of the stomach, or as an opening in the heart. It is a feeling of settling or openness. Sometimes it is a chill running down the spine. It is visceral. Paranoia and mental fear are felt in the head, forehead, temples, or as pressure in the upper chest and throat, anxiety. It is a feeling of spinning, of vertigo, of noise. If the sensation is up, from the neck up, it is noise. If the sensation is down, grounding, it is signal. The persistence of the message. Intuition is persistent but gentle. If you ignore the message, it does not shout at you. It simply waits, and it reappears tomorrow, and the next day. It is that gentle idea of, you should write that book, that has been visiting you for 10 years. It does not pressure you, but it does not leave. It is a constant drip of water. Fear is urgent and volatile. You have to decide now. Limited offer. If you don't do it now, you'll regret it. Fear uses urgency so you don't think. Fear changes shape. Today you are afraid of flying, tomorrow of getting sick, the day after of bankruptcy. It is a noisy chameleon. Intuition is a fixed lighthouse. Summary of differences. Intuition, signal. Paranoia, fear, noise. Speed, instantaneous, first ping. Speed, delayed, reaction. Tone, neutral, calm, authoritative. Tone, emotional, urgent, dramatic. Content, information, direction. Content, arguments, what if, stories. Body, expansion, gut, relaxation. Body, contraction, head, tension. Duration, persistent, stable. Duration, obsessive, cyclical, exhausting. Understanding this intellectually is the first step, but in the heat of the moment, when you are under pressure to make a decision, the theory is forgotten. You need to train your discernment in the cold. You need to test your system. In the second part, I will give you the calibration protocols. We are going to subject your gut feelings to a technical interrogation to find out if they come from the source or from fear. You will learn to be a frequency connoisseur. Calibration protocols cleaning the sensor. You already know the theory. Now let's move to practice. You have a sensation, you have a doubt. How do you know if it is the ping or the noise? You cannot afford to guess. You have to know. Here are 4 spiritual engineering protocols to test the signal. Protocol 1. The neutrality test, detachment from the outcome. This is the hardest test and the most revealing. Pure intuition only works when you do not have a horse in the race. That is, when you are not desperate for the answer to be X or Y. If you are in love with someone and you ask your intuition, "Is this the one?" your desire is going to scream yes so loud that it will drown out any warning signal. If you are terrified of losing your job and you ask, "Am I going to be fired?" your fear is going to scream yes, even if it is a lie. To hear the truth, you first have to reach 0 point. 0 point is an emotional state where you accept both possibilities. Before asking, you have to tell yourself and truly feel it. If the answer is yes, I will be fine. If the answer is no, I will be fine. My peace does not depend on the answer. I just want to know the truth to navigate better. If you cannot say this honestly, you are not ready to intuit. You are ready to project. If you feel that you need the answer to be a specific one, do not use intuition. Use logic or ask for external advice. Your sensor is dirty with desire. Intuition requires a vacuum. Only when you let go of the steering wheel can the GPS guide you. If you are grasping the steering wheel tightly to the right, the GPS cannot correct the course. Exercise. If you have a difficult decision, try to visualize the worst-case scenario, that the answer is the one you do not want. Breathe into that scenario until you find peace in it. Until you say, "Okay, if that happens, I will survive." Once you have neutralized the fear of the negative outcome, ask the question again. The answer that arises in that neutral silence will be the true one. Protocol 2. The stop, drop, and feel test. Stop, drop, and feel. When you feel a sudden urgency or fear, paranoia, apply this emergency protocol. It is like when your clothes catch fire. Do not run. 1. Stop. Stop any physical action. Do not send the message. Do not buy the ticket. Do not yell. Freeze. 2. Drop. Lower your attention from your head to your body. Drop to your feet. Feel the ground. Feel your weight. This disconnects the mental loop of anxiety. 3. Feel. Now. Scan the physical sensation. Is it a fast electrical and sharp vibration, adrenaline, fear? Or is it a deep, solid and calm sensation, truth? Ask the sensation, are you trying to protect me from a real present danger, or are you trying to stop me from growing? Fear of growth disguises itself as prudence. Intuition of danger feels like a cold wall. Fear of growth feels like a vibrating electric fence. If you feel good nerves, butterflies, excitement mixed with fear, it is growth, it is the ping. If you feel dark terror, nausea, darkness, it is danger. Protocol 3. The blind test, training with verifiable data. You cannot start trusting your intuition with life or death decisions. Should I have surgery or not? Should I get married or not? That is too much weight for an atrophied muscle. You have to train with things that don't matter, things that your ego has no opinion about. Phone exercise. When your phone rings or you receive a message, pause before looking at the screen. Launch the ping. Who is it? Let a face, a name, or a sensation arise, then look. At first you will fail, then you will start succeeding. Since you don't care if it's Juan or Mara, no attachment, the signal is clean. You are calibrating the instrument. Elevator exercise. Before reaching the elevator, try to sense, what floor is it on? Is anyone inside? Route exercise. Before going home, ask, which way has less traffic today? Feel the impulse, left or right. Follow it. Check if you were right. This playful training has a powerful side effect. It builds trust, faith. When you accumulate 50 small successes in trivial things, your logical brain begins to relax. It starts to accept that a valid data flow exists beyond reason. And when the big decision comes, you will have a history of successes to rely on. You will know what your yes and your no feel like. Protocol 4. The coin trick, hacking the subconscious. Sometimes the logical mind is so noisy that it completely covers the ping. You are blocked in analysis paralysis. In those cases, use a coin. Assign one option to heads and another to tails. Toss the coin in the air. And here is the trick. The result of the coin does not matter. What matters is your immediate reaction in the millisecond you see the result. Let's say it lands on heads, option A. In that instant, observe your body. Did you feel a micro relief? Good, it's heads. Your intuition wanted A. Did you feel a micro disappointment? Oh, I wanted it to be tails. Your intuition wanted B. The coin forces your intuition out of hiding to protest or celebrate the random result. It is a way to bypass the logical mind and directly access the visceral preference of the system. If it lands on heads and you feel disappointed, ignore the coin and do tails. The coin was only the chemical developer. The courage to trust the irrational. Finally, calibrating the instrument is useless if you don't have the courage to follow the instructions. Intuition is often irrational. It will tell you to leave a party where everyone is having fun for no apparent reason. It will tell you to go into an empty bookstore. It will tell you not to sign a contract that looks perfect on paper. Following the ping requires courage. It requires being willing to look crazy or rude to others and to your own logic. Your mind will tell you, you can't leave now, you'll look bad. Your intuition will tell you, leave, now. If you obey social logic and stay, and then something unpleasant happens, your antenna weakens. You learn to distrust yourself. If you obey the ping, you leave, and then you find out there was a fight at the party, your antenna strengthens. You learn that your system takes care of you. Every time you validate an intuition with an action, you are cleaning the sensor. You are removing a layer of rust. You are telling the universe, I hear you, I trust your signal more than my fear. Send me more instructions. And here the magic happens. When you trust the first ping, you stop needing to know the why. You free yourself from the need to understand everything intellectually. You become a fluid instrument. You move through life with the grace of a wild animal, which does not think where to put its paw. It simply knows where it is safe to step. You have learned to distinguish the voice of fear from the voice of truth. You have learned to calibrate your sensor with blind tests and neutrality. But your antenna does not only work when you are awake. In fact, it works best when your logical mind, that noisy watchdog, goes to sleep. There is a moment of the day when resistance drops to zero and the bandwidth becomes infinite. Chapter 5, Nocturnal Downloads, Hacking Dreams. The ego-free laboratory when resistance falls to zero. During the day, we have been working hard to clean the white noise, audit our signal, and distinguish intuition from fear. All of that requires considerable conscious effort because we are operating in the beta state, waking, where the guardian of logic, the ego, is patrolling the border of your mind with a loaded rifle. Your ego has a biological function to keep you safe in the physical 3D reality. To do this, it rejects any information that seems impossible, illogical, or dangerous to the status quo. If you try to download the idea of $1 million business at 2 p.m., your ego will say, "You have no money, you have no time, it's risky," and it will block the download. But there is an 8-hour window of opportunity every day where the guard goes to sleep, leaves the keys on the table, and the door to the server room is wide open. That window is sleep. Most people waste this sacred time. They view sleep as a simple system shutdown to recharge physical batteries, or as a random, meaningless film that the brain projects for entertainment. This is a tragically limited view. Sleep is not a state of unconsciousness. It is a state of non-local hyperconsciousness. When you enter the deep phases of sleep, especially REM and delta sleep, your consciousness uncouples from the 5 physical senses. You stop receiving data from the world of matter, what you see and touch, and your bandwidth is 100% free to receive data from the world of the wave, the quantum field. Logical resistance drops to zero. In the dream state, you can fly and it doesn't seem strange. You can talk to deceased people and you are not scared. You can be another person and you accept it. Why? Because the filter of what is possible has been deactivated. This makes sleep the perfect tuning laboratory. It is the moment where you can receive complex information packet solutions to problems, creative ideas, emotional healing without your logical mind sabotaging them before they land. History is full of evidence of this. Paul McCartney woke up one morning with the complete melody of Yesterday playing in his head. He didn't compose it, he downloaded it. Dmitri Mendeleev saw the complete periodic table of the elements in a dream after days of trying to organize it logically without success. Elias Howe, the inventor of the sewing machine, was stuck on how to design the needle. He dreamed that cannibals attacked him with spears that had a hole in the tip. He woke up, put the hole in the point of the needle, and the machine worked. These are not accidents. They are nocturnal downloads. They are examples of tuners who, consciously or not, took an intense question to bed and allowed the universe to respond when the ego wasn't looking. You have access to the same library, but you probably go to sleep thinking about your problems, looking at your phone or reviewing arguments. Going to sleep with the vibration of problem guarantees that you will spend 8 hours incubating and solidifying that problem in your subconscious. It's like leaving a garbage stew simmering all night. When you wake up, the stew is ready and smells terrible. To stop asking and start tuning, you have to treat sleep as what it is, a spiritual work shift. You do not go to bed to disappear. You go to bed to meet with your advisory council. You go to receive instructions. You go to repair your software. In this chapter, we are going to learn the technology of dream incubation. You will learn to prepare the landing strip, how to clear your mind before sleep to ensure a clean connection, launch the question, how to formulate the correct request so the subconscious searches for the precise answer, capture the data, how to bring the information back to the waking world before it evaporates. Sleep is the most underrated productivity tool on the planet. While you rest, your antenna can be working at maximum power. If you learn to hack these 8 hours, you will be living and creating 24 hours a day instead of 16. Dream incubation protocols: how to program the night. We already know that sleep is a backdoor to the information field. Now we are going to see how to cross it deliberately. We don't want random dreams, pizza chasing me. We want operational dreams. This is the solution to your debt. To achieve this, we need a transition ritual. You cannot jump from the chaos of Instagram to deep sleep and expect miracles. You need a launch ramp. Protocol 1, the nightly brainwash, pre-sleep hygiene. Your vibrational state in the last 20 minutes before sleep determines the trajectory of the entire night. It is the primacy effect. The last thing that enters is what is processed first and most deeply. If the last thing you see is news about an economic crisis, your brain will spend the night searching for scarcity and danger files to correlate with that news. You will wake up tired and anxious. Your task is to protect those 20 minutes with your life. Zero screens. Blue light suppresses melatonin, but worse, digital content activates the ego and comparison. Day review, the rewind method. If you had a bad day, don't go to sleep with that energy. Do a quick review. Visualize the tense moments of the day, but imagine them resolving well. Or simply tell them, "This is over, I let it go." Don't take garbage to bed. Gratitude. End the day by raising the frequency. Feel grateful for 3 things. This calibrates your dial to abundance just before shutting down the system. Protocol 2. The command request. Programming the question. This is where the magic begins. Once you are in bed, relaxed, and at the threshold of sleep, hypnagogic state, you are going to launch a command request to your subconscious. It is not a plea of supplication, "Please help me." It is a search instruction. The format must be simple and direct. The subconscious is literal. For a decision. Subconscious, I need to know the correct next step in my career. Show it to me clearly. For an idea. Subconscious, give me a creative idea to solve this financial problem. For healing. Subconscious, locate and dissolve the emotional block that prevents me from having a partner. Repeat this phrase mentally like a soft mantra as you drift off to sleep. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. By doing this, you are assigning a background processing task. While your body repairs itself, your non-local mind will begin scanning the quantum field, looking for the frequency that matches your question. Protocol 3. The glass of water, Silva technique. A very powerful physical variant, popularized by Joss Silva, is to use a glass of water as an anchor. Before sleeping, fill a glass of water. Hold it with both hands. Close your eyes. Visualize your problem. Drink half of the water while mentally saying, "This is all I need to do to find the solution." Leave the glass on the nightstand and sleep. Upon waking, drink the rest of the water and say thank you for the answer. This seems like a magic ritual, but it is behavioral psychology. You are creating a physical ritual that tells your brain, "I have started a process, drinking half, that must be completed, drinking the rest." The brain hates open processes, Zeigarnik effect, and will work all night to close the circle by finding the solution. Protocol 4. Data capture, the critical moment. Most people receive the download but lose it in the first 10 seconds of waking. REM sleep, where the most vivid dreams occur, has a different brain chemistry than wakefulness, acetylcholine versus norepinephrine. When you wake up and move abruptly, the chemistry changes suddenly, and the dream evaporates like fog. To capture the information, you must respect the transition state. Do not use a blaring alarm clock. If possible, wake up naturally or with a soft light-hog sound. Do not move. When you open your eyes, stay completely still. Don't stretch. Don't look at your phone. Stay in the same position you woke up in. Dream memory is stored in body posture. Ask the recovery question. What did I just dream? How do I feel? Sometimes you won't remember a story, but you will remember a sensation, a word, or a fleeting image. Write immediately. Keep a notebook and pen next to the bed. Not your phone. Screen light erases the dream. Write down any fragment, no matter how absurd it seems. A blue rabbit gave me a key. I felt a lot of peace in a wooden house. Sometimes the answer doesn't come as a narrative dream. Sometimes you wake up with a song in your head whose lyrics are the message. Sometimes you wake up simply knowing what to do. The doubt has disappeared. A new software of certainty has been installed overnight. Decoding the dream message. Do not Google "what does dreaming about rabbits mean?" Dream dictionaries are useless because your symbols are personal. For you, a dog may mean love, if you had a beloved pet, and for another, it may mean fear, if they were bitten as a child. Ask yourself, how did I feel about that symbol in the dream? Emotion is the decryption key. If you dreamed that your car wouldn't start and you felt relief, the message is not "fix the car." The message is, you don't want to go where you are going. Your soul wants to stop. If you dreamed you were flying and felt euphoria, the message is, you are raising your vibration. You have the ability to see things from above, perspective. The practice of patience. Don't get frustrated if you don't get the Coca-Cola formula on the first night. Your dream communication channel is atrophied from years of disuse. At first, you will receive fragments, noise, or silence. Keep doing the ritual. Keep drinking the water. Keep asking. By doing this, you are telling your subconscious, I am serious. I want to establish this line of communication. With practice, dreams will become sharper, more direct, and more lucid. A point will come where going to sleep will be as exciting as going to the cinema or a strategic consulting session. You will know that, while your body rests, a part of you is traveling at the speed of light, gathering the resources you need to succeed tomorrow. You have learned to tune your antenna in wakefulness, intuition, and in sleep, incubation. You are receiving data. But there is a final signal, the most powerful of all, that confirms you have tuned the correct frequency in the physical world. It is when external reality starts winking at you. It is when coincidences cease to be coincidences. Chapter 6, Synchronicity, the signal clears. The reality algorithm when the universe winks at you. You have cleaned the static from your antenna. You have learned to distinguish the first ping of intuition from fear. You have programmed your dreams. You have turned the internal dial towards the frequency you desire. Now what? How do you know if it worked? How do you know if you are truly connected or if you are just playing mental games with yourself in an empty room? The answer comes from outside, and it comes in a way that defies all statistical logic. It comes through synchronicity. Imagine you are driving. You have decided to tune in to a specific radio station, let's say 104.5 FM. You turn the knob. There is static. You keep turning. Suddenly, the noise disappears and a clear, crisp voice begins singing your favorite song. At that moment, you know without the need for blind faith that you have found the signal. The music is the proof of the connection. In the reality radio, the music is meaningful coincidences. The term synchronicity was coined by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung to describe events that are connected by meaning, not by cause and effect. The mechanistic view of the world tells us that if A hits B, B moves. That is cause and effect. It is logical, it is safe, but synchronicity breaks that rule. You think of an old friend you haven't seen for 10 years, event A, internal. 5 minutes later, that friend calls you on the phone or you run into them at the supermarket, event B, external. You did not call the friend, you did not physically cause their appearance. However, the internal and external events are perfectly synchronized in time and space. For the skeptical, materialistic mind, this is coincidence. It is a statistical accident. For the conscious tuner, this is confirmation of coverage. It is vital that you understand the mechanics behind this so as not to fall into superstition. It's not magic, it's algorithm. Think about how the YouTube or TikTok algorithm works. The algorithm has no opinions. It does not judge, it simply observes where you place your attention. If you stop to watch a video of cats, the algorithm records that data, interest cats, and immediately starts filling your screen with more cat videos. Your attention programs your digital reality. The universe works exactly the same way. It is a quantum algorithm of infinite sophistication. When you change your internal frequency through emotion, belief, and focus, you are giving a vibrational like to a specific reality. You are telling the system, I am interested in abundance or I am interested in healing. The system receives the data, and obediently, it begins to rearrange the flow of events, people, and circumstances to show you more content that matches your new preference. Synchronicities are the first recommended videos in your new reality feed. They are the universe telling you, message received. I noticed you changed the dial. Here is a sample of the new programming. Do you want more? The tragedy is that most people ignore these signals. They see the number 1111 on the clock and say, how curious. They meet the perfect person at the perfect time and say, how lucky. By calling synchronicity coincidence, you are insulting the intelligence of the system. You are saying, this has no meaning, and when you deny the meaning, you cut the flow. The algorithm thinks, they weren't interested. let's return to the usual programming of problems and stress. In this chapter, we are going to learn to read the secret language of coincidences. You will stop seeing life as a series of random, chaotic events, and you will start seeing it as an orchestrated choreography. You will discover that the universe is constantly leaving you breadcrumbs to guide you toward your desire. Your only job is to recognize them, be grateful for them, and follow them. Typology of signals identifying the message. The universe is a versatile communicator. It does not use a single channel. It uses the entire spectrum of reality to get your attention. Once you decide to start tuning, signals will begin to bombard you. To avoid becoming overwhelmed, you need to classify these transmissions. There are three main types of synchronicity that you must learn to identify. 1. The mirror synchronicity, the instant reflection. This is the most common and fastest form of biofeedback. The outside world shows you an exact replica of your current internal state. Negative example. You wake up in a bad mood, rushed and stressed. You go out and, coincidentally, all the traffic lights are red. The waiter is rude. You drop your keys. Bad luck? No. It is the mirror telling you, your frequency is chaos. Here is more chaos. Positive example. You wake up grateful, do your meditation, you feel at peace. You go out and the bus arrives just as you step up to the stop. Someone smiles at you. You find a €5 bill. The mirror tells you, your frequency is flow. Here is more flow. How to use it? Use it as a thermometer. Don't get angry at the mirror. If you see many annoying coincidences in a row, stop. Your signal is dirty. Do a reset, alchemical pivot, before continuing. If you see kind coincidences, celebrate them to anchor that frequency. 2. The navigation synchronicity, the cosmic GPS. These are the signals that answer a question or indicate a direction. They happen when you are at a crossroads and don't know what to do. The third-party conversation. You are doubting whether to quit your job to start a business. You sit on a park bench and two strangers walk by. Just as they pass you, one says to the other, "It was the best decision of my life. I wish I had done it sooner." You didn't hear the rest of the conversation, but you heard that fragment. That is not chance. It is a direct answer to your vibrational doubt. The library of chance. You walk into a bookstore, a book falls off the shelf or catches your eye because of its color. You open it to a random page and read a sentence that seems written for you today. Numerical repetition. You start seeing patterns, 111, 222, 333, your date of birth, repeatedly, on clocks, license plates, receipts, Instagram, likes. Don't obsess over the exact numerology. The general message of repeated numbers is, you are aligned. You are in the present moment. Pay attention to what you are thinking right now because it is manifesting. It is an "you are here" marker. 3. The opportunity synchronicity, the magic bridge. This is the most spectacular. It is when the universe moves heavy physical pieces to bring you your desire. It is often called serendipity. You are looking for an apartment in an expensive area and can't find anything. You go to a dinner party you didn't want to attend, and you are seated next to someone who says, "I'm moving abroad and need to rent my apartment urgently. I'll rent it cheap to someone I trust." You need money for a project. You find an old check you hadn't cashed, or you get an unexpected tax refund. These synchronicities are proof that logistics are not your concern. Your job was to tune into the ideal apartment frequency. The universe's job was to move the previous tenant abroad and seat you next to them at dinner. If you had tried to control the how, searching online obsessively, you might not have gone to the dinner and would have missed the connection. The danger of apophenia, the madness of patterns. A necessary warning for the novice tuner. There is a thin line between synchronicity, seeing real connections, and apophenia, inventing connections where there are none. When you are desperate for a sign, your mind can force it. The car is red and my ex liked red apples, that means they miss me. No, that is delusion. That is mental noise disguised as a signal. How to distinguish synchronicity from madness? By the feeling. Genuine synchronicity hits you, it surprises you, it causes a shiver of awe. It feels light, magical, and evident. You don't have to explain it, it explains itself. Apophenia feels forced. You have to do mental gymnastics to connect the dots. It feels heavy and obsessive. If you have to ask 5 friends, do you think this is a sign? It probably isn't. A real signal is unmistakable. It is a lightning bolt in the dark night. Navigating the flow. The traffic light technique. Now that you identify the signals, you need a protocol to act on them. Information without action is entertainment. Information with action is power. The universe guides you through a very simple, energetic traffic light system. Ease versus friction. We have been taught to value the struggle. We believe that if something is difficult, it is worthwhile. That if we encounter obstacles, we must break them down with willpower. In the frequency paradigm, this is a mistake. Excessive friction is the universe's way of telling you, not this way, wrong frequency. You are deviating. Flow, ease, is its way of telling you, yes, this way, keep accelerating. Green light, the chain of coincidences. When you make an aligned decision based on your intuition ping, a streak of green lights often triggers. You call the person and they answer immediately. You ask for the appointment and there is an opening. You go to the place and there is parking right at the door. You feel like you're going downhill. This is called the state of grace. When this happens, do not question it. Don't say it's too good to be true. Say, this is normal when I'm tuned in, and step on the gas. Take advantage of the momentum. It is the time to take big actions. Red light, the unexplained resistance. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the door does not open. You send the email and it bounces. You go to the meeting and it's cancelled. You try to buy the ticket and the website crashes. Your ego says, insist, fight. Your tuner wisdom says, wait, look at the traffic light. It's red. A red light does not always mean never. Sometimes it means not now or not this way. Perhaps if you had bought that ticket, you would have been in an accident. Perhaps if that meeting had happened, you would have signed a ruinous contract. Resistance is protection. When you encounter repeated resistance, 3 blocks in a row, stop. Stop pushing. Ask, what am I not seeing? Is there another way? Often, by stopping pushing the locked door, you turn around and see an open window next to it. Amber light, the neutral silence. Sometimes there are no spectacular synchronicities or terrible blocks, just nothing. Routine, calm. This is amber light. It means maintain course, trust the timing. You don't need fireworks every day. Sometimes the signal is simply the absence of problems. Enjoy the journey, continue tuning your well-being. Part 4. Navigating the bridge of incidents, trusting the invisible plot. The most challenging aspect of following synchronicities is that they rarely form a straight line. The shortest path between 2 points in the physical world is a straight line. In the quantum world, it is the path of least resistance, and that path often looks like an absurd zigzag. Neville Goddard called this phenomenon the bridge of incidents. It is the series of events, coincidences, and encounters that the universe deploys to take you from where you are to where you want to go. The trap is that, while you are crossing the bridge, it often does not seem to be leading you to your destination. Sometimes it seems to be taking you in the opposite direction. Imagine your desire is to work at something I love and have freedom. You tune that frequency. The next week you get fired from your current job. Your mind screams tuning failure. I ask for abundance and they give me unemployment. The universe has betrayed me. You panic. You lower your frequency to fear. You desperately try to get your old job back. If you do that, you are aborting the bridge of incidents. To have the job you love, you had to leave the job you hate. Since you didn't dare to quit, the universe, responding to your request for freedom, created a negative synchronicity, the firing, to free you. The firing was not a mistake. It was the first step of the response. It was a red light to the old path to force you to take the green light of the new one. Trusting synchronicity requires an iron faith in the invisible plot. It requires understanding that the universe has a drone perspective, while you have a street-level perspective. You see the wall. The universe sees that the treasure is behind the wall. The case of the cancelled flight. You are furious because your flight was cancelled. You think it's bad luck. You go to the airport cafe to pass the time. There you order a coffee and start talking to the person next to you. It turns out to be the love of your life or the investor you needed. If the flight had left on time, you never would have met them. The bad luck, red light, was actually a perfect positioning maneuver for a greater synchronicity. Practice. The synchronicity logbook. Human memory is fragile and tends to quickly forget the magic to return to worry. To solidify your confidence in the system, you need to record the evidence. Start a synchronicity logbook today. It can be a note on your phone or a small notebook. Every time a meaningful coincidence occurs, write it down. I thought of pizza, and my coworker brought free pizza. I saw 11:11 and felt peace. The meeting that was stressing me out was cancelled. At first, you will write down small things, but the act of writing has a powerful quantum effect. What you observe grows. By paying attention to the signals, you are telling your RAS, reticular activating system, that the signals are important. Your brain will start scanning the environment for more, and the universe, feeling recognized, will increase the intensity of the communication. You will go from seeing one signal a week to seeing 5 a day. A time will come when the conversation is so fluid, so constant, and so fun that the idea of worrying about the future will seem ridiculous. Why worry if you have an interactive guide leading you by the hand? You have learned to clean your signal. You have learned to listen to your intuition. You have learned to interpret the external signals. Now you are tuned in. The music is playing clearly. But a crucial piece is still missing. So far, we have talked about how to interpret the information you receive. But you are not just a receiver. You are also an emitter. Your body does not just read reality, it writes it. And the most powerful tool you have for writing reality is not your mind. It is your physical body. Your body is a biological dowsing pendulum. It knows things your mind does not know. Chapter 7. Calibrating the body, feeling the frequency. The hardware of truth. Why your mind lies and your body doesn't. We have spent a lot of time discussing abstract concepts, frequencies, waves, synchronicities, dreams. All of that is fascinating, but it risks remaining in the intellect. And the intellect, no matter how sharp, has a fatal flaw when it comes to tuning into reality. The intellect is a compulsive liar. Your rational mind is a justification machine. It can convince you to accept a job you hate because the salary is good and provides security. It can convince you to stay in a dead relationship because you've been together a long time and it's the logical thing to do. Your mind can build castles of logical arguments on foundations of emotional sand. It can rationalize suffering. It can sell you the lie that useless sacrifice is virtue. But there is a part of you that is incorruptible, a part that cannot lie because it lacks the biological mechanism for deception. That part is your physical body. Your body is the hardware of the antenna. While your mind wanders in the past or the future, your body lives in a perpetual and brutally honest present. Your body is the point of contact between your consciousness and the quantum field. Before you have a conscious thought about a person or a situation, your body has already scanned its frequency, processed it, and delivered a verdict. Science calls this neuroception. Coined by Dr. Stephen Porges, father of polyvagal theory, neuroception is the ability of your autonomic nervous system to detect signals of safety or danger in the environment without the intervention of the conscious mind. It is a subcortical radar system that operates in nanoseconds. When you walk into a room and feel that the atmosphere is heavy, it is not a poetic metaphor. It is a physiological reading. Your nervous system has detected microfacial expressions, low-frequency tones of voice, or stress pheromones in the air, and has tensed your muscles to prepare you for fight or flight. All of this happens long before your brain can formulate the phrase, "Something strange is going on here." To stop asking and start tuning, you must stop treating your body as a pack animal carrying your head from one meeting to another. You must start treating it as what it is, a high-precision biosensor. The body operates under a very simple binary code: expansion, truth alignment, and contraction, lie, misalignment. Let's analyze the physics of these two states, because they are the compass you will use to navigate the rest of your life. 1. Contraction, the vibrational no. When you face something that does not resonate with your essential frequency, a lie, a danger, a wrong path, your body closes down. At the cellular level, it is a defense mechanism. Cells harden to protect their nucleus. At the muscular level, the flexor chain activates. Shoulders curve forward, protecting the heart. The jaw tightens, the diaphragm locks, shallow breathing, and the anal sphincter contracts. The visceral sensation is one of heaviness. You feel yourself sinking. You feel cold. You feel that space becomes small. If you are considering a decision and feel your stomach clench into a fist, that is the vibrational truth. Your mind may tell you, it's a great opportunity, but your body is shouting, abort mission. If you ignore the body and obey the mind, I guarantee that in 6 months you will look back and say, my body warned me. 2. Expansion, the vibrational yes. When you face the truth, or something that is in alignment with your destiny, your body opens up. The parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, takes control. Muscles relax, the chest opens, breathing descends to the lower abdomen. The face softens. The visceral sensation is one of lightness. You feel like you are floating a little. You feel warmth. You feel that you take up more space. Even if the situation is logically scary, like skydiving or public speaking, if it is right for you, you will feel a current of electrical, expansive energy, not a heavy paralysis. It is the difference between fear that freezes you and excitement that propels you. The great problem with modern society is that we have been systematically trained to anesthetize this sensor. Since childhood, we are forced to ignore the body. Eat everything on your plate even if you're not hungry. Ignore your satiety. Sit still in the chair for 8 hours even if your body wants to move. Ignore your energy. Give that person a kiss even if you don't want to. Ignore your rejection instinct. As a result, we reach adulthood disembodied. We live floating 5 centimeters above our head, treating the body as an annoying object that sometimes hurts or gets hungry. When the body tries to speak to us through a symptom, tension, or a gut feeling, we silence it. We take a pill for the headache, we turn off the dashboard alarm light, and continue driving towards the cliff. Recovering tuning requires rehabilitation. You have to get back inside your skin. You have to clean the sensor filters that have been clogged by years of processed food, sedentarism, emotional repression, and excess digital stimuli. An intoxicated body is a radio with interference. If your system is inflamed by sugar or chronic stress, the signal of intuition will mix with the signal of inflammation. You won't know if that knot in your stomach is a cosmic warning or simply indigestion. That is why pragmatic spirituality cannot be separated from physical health. Your diet, your sleep, and your movement are not just aesthetic issues. They are telecommunications, engineering issues. You are caring for the equipment so that the transmission is clear. In the second part of this chapter, we will leave the biological theory and move on to the calibration protocols. I will teach you how to test your body to establish your baseline of yes and no, and how to use applied kinesiology techniques to make complex decisions without using the logical brain. You will learn to ask your cells, and you will be surprised to discover that they already know the answer before you have finished formulating the question. Somatic calibration protocols, the human pendulum. If your body is a compass, we first need to know where north is. Not everyone feels yes and no the same way. For some, no is a knot in the throat. For others, it is a coldness in the hands. We are going to perform a series of tests to map your internal geography. Protocol 1, establishing the baseline, the truth test. This exercise serves to identify how truth and lies physically feel in your unique system. Preparation. Sit in a comfortable posture with your back straight but not rigid. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths to step out of the mental noise and drop into the body. The yes calibration. Bring something to mind that is absolutely and undeniably true and that you like. Say your full name. My name is your full name. Or think of someone you love unconditionally, your child, your dog, or your favorite food. Say out loud, this is true. Yes. Now scan your body. Don't look for fireworks, look for subtleties. Where do you feel relaxation? Do you feel a slight warmth in your chest? Did your shoulders drop microscopically? Did your breathing deepen? That specific sensation is your truth signature. Memorize it. It is your north. The no calibration. Now shake your body to reset, return to calm, say a blatant lie. My name is Nebuchadnezzar. I hate my mother. I am green. Say out loud, this is a lie. No. Scan again. What changed? Was there a micro blink in your eyes? Did your stomach tighten? Did you feel slight nausea or a metallic taste? Did your energy withdraw inward? That is your falsehood signature. It is your danger signal. Do this several times until you can clearly distinguish the difference between state A and state B. Once calibrated, you can use it for everything. Protocol 2. The body pendulum standing kinesiology. Your body, like any object with an electromagnetic field, is attracted to what strengthens it and repelled by what weakens it. We can use gravity to test decisions. Stand up, barefoot if possible, with your feet hip-width apart. Relax your knees. Do not lock them. Relax your arms at your sides. Close your eyes and find your center of balance. Say, show me a yes. Wait a few seconds. In most people, the body will gently and involuntarily lean forward. It is a subtle movement. You will not fall. It is a magnetic attraction to the truth. Return to the center. Say, show me a no. Wait. The body usually leans backward, as if moving away from something. Once you trust that your body oscillates, use it for binary decisions. Is it beneficial for my higher purpose to accept this job? Let the body answer. If you lean forward, it is a green light. If you lean backward, it is a red light. If you stay still or swing laterally, the question is poorly formulated, or it is not the time to know, or you have too much mental interference, fear, blocking the signal. Important note, this does not work if you are emotionally upset. If you have a lot of fear or a lot of desire, your mind will alter the muscular result. You must be in a state of curious neutrality. I just want to know the truth. Protocol 3. The visceral simulation, the somatic time travel. Sometimes decisions are complex and cannot be answered with a simple yes-no. For these cases, we use the body's ability to simulate potential futures. Imagine you have to choose between two paths. Option A, moving to the city, and Option B, staying in the town. Your mind has lists of pros and cons for both. It is blocked. Your body knows the answer. Sit in silence. Live Option A. Close your eyes and vividly visualize that you have chosen Option A. You have already moved. You are in the city apartment. You see the traffic, smell the air, go to the new job. Do not think it. Feel it. Inhabit that future for 2 minutes. Now observe your body. Is there expansion or contraction? Is there a hum of excitement or a leaden heaviness? Do you feel you breathe better or worse? Exit the visualization. Shake your body. Reset. Live. Option B. Now visualize that you have decided to stay. 6 months pass. You are still in the town. Same routine. Inhabit it. Scan the body. Relief or stagnation. Peace or dead boredom. Compare the two sensations. Often the mind says Option A is logical because you earn more money, but the body in the Option A simulation felt sick, tense, and grey. And in Option B, it felt calm. The answer is B. The extra money in A will not compensate for the illness your body is already predicting. Tuning means obeying the somatic data over the financial data, because the body lives in reality and money is just a concept. Protocol 4, the sensor detox. For these protocols to work with high fidelity, you need to keep the equipment clean. If your body is inflamed, deaf, and numb, the signals will be blurry. Here are 3 habits to refine sensitivity. Intermittent fasting, digestive and digital. Digestion consumes a massive amount of energy. When you are constantly digesting heavy food, blood goes to the stomach, and subtle sensitivity disappears. Try to make important decisions on an empty stomach. Mental and sensory clarity in a fasted state is superior. The same applies to screen fasting. Earthing, grounding. We are electrical beings. We accumulate positive static charge, inflammation, from electronic devices and modern life. Putting your bare feet on the earth, grass, or sand for 15 minutes a day discharges that static and reconnects you with the Earth's Schumann resonance. It works as an electrical reset for your nervous system. you will feel anxiety, noise, drop instantly. Fascia scan. Unprocessed trauma and emotions are stored in the fascia, the connective tissue that wraps the muscles. A rigid fascia is a rigid antenna. Free movement, yoga, spontaneous dancing, or deep stretching release that trapped information. Sometimes, while stretching your hip or psoas, you will feel like crying or a sudden idea will come to you. It is the information releasing from the tissue. Allow it. You are cleaning the physical hard drive. The false positive trap, trauma, a final calibration warning. Sometimes your body screams no danger as contraction at something that is actually good for you. This happens when you have unresolved trauma. If you were bitten by a dog as a child, your body will contract at a harmless puppy. It is not an intuition of real danger. It is an activated traumatic memory. If you had a controlling partner, your body may contract when a healthy person offers commitment, interpreting it as loss of freedom. How to distinguish the no of intuition from the no of trauma? The no of intuition is flat, calm, and firm. It feels like a stone wall. You simply do not pass. The no of trauma is electrical, hysterical, and hot. It comes with mental stories of panic, emotional flashbacks, or an urgent need to flee. If you suspect it is trauma, pause. Calm your nervous system, slow breathing. Tell your body, we are safe. This is not the past. And test again. If the contraction persists in calmness, it is intuition. If it disappears, it was trauma. You have learned to use your body as the precision instrument that it is. You now have the entire system set up. Noise cleansing, mind. First ping, intuition. Nocturnal downloads, sleep. Synchronicity, external signals. Somatic calibration, internal signals. You are ready to stop asking. You have the equipment to tune into any reality. But one final step remains. The step that transforms technique into magic. It is time to stop using these tools to get things and start using them to become the source. Chapter 8. Stop asking, the paradox of lack. The vibrational beggar. Why supplication is a repellent. We have reached the most counterintuitive and difficult point to accept in this entire process. You have cleaned your signal, you have learned to listen, and you have calibrated your body. You are ready. And now, your natural instinct, based on millennia of cultural programming, is to look up at the sky or the quantum field and say, please give it to me. It is time to stop dead in your tracks. If you want this system to work, you must engrave an immutable law in your mind. In the realm of frequency, asking is confirming that you do not have. Let's analyze it with the coldness of a linguist and a physicist. When you use the word I want, or the phrase please give me, what is the hidden premise, the basic assumption upon which that phrase is built? The premise is, I don't have it. No one asks for air while they are breathing. No one asks to be dry while walking in the desert. You only ask for what you perceive as absent. Therefore, every time you sit down to pray, visualize, or decree from the energy of petition, you are activating the frequency of lack. You are sending a powerful, clear signal to the universe that says, I am empty. I lack this, I am incomplete. And the universe, which is an impartial mirror and not a sentimental father, receives that absence signal and, by the law of resonance, returns a reality that matches the absence. It returns more waiting, more almost, more longing. This is the paradox of lack. The more desperately you need something, the further you push it away. Need has a very heavy vibrational density. It is sticky. It is repulsive. Think about human relationships. Are you attracted to someone who approaches you desperately, begging for love, saying, please love me, I can't live without you? No. You instinctively back away. You feel that person wants to take your energy to fill their hole. Instead, you are magnetically attracted to someone who is complete, who enjoys themselves, who doesn't need you but chooses you. Money, health, and opportunities work exactly the same way as that person. They flee from need. They flee from the vibrational beggar. If you chase money shouting, I need you, money will run faster in the opposite direction. Because your dominant vibration is, I don't have. Stopping asking requires a radical change in identity. It requires moving from the identity of the seeker, who is always searching but never finds, to the identity of the tuner, who finds the frequency where the thing already exists. Imagine you are a radio. If the radio wants to emit Mozart, it doesn't shout, "Please, central antenna, send me Mozart." The radio simply adjusts its internal circuits until it matches the Mozart frequency. The moment there is a match, the music plays, inevitably, effortlessly, without supplication. The music is not a prize for having tuned well. It is the physical consequence of the tuning. You have been shouting at the central antenna. You have been negotiating. "If you give me this, I will be good. I've suffered enough. It's my turn." That is victim thinking. The victim believes that the power is outside and that they have to convince an external authority to grant them a favor. The tuner knows the power is in the dial. The act of asking creates separation. It puts the subject, you, here, and the object, the desire, far away. It creates distance in space and time. The act of tuning creates unity. It brings the object into the here and now vibratory. So if we cannot ask, what do we do? Do we sit around waiting? Absolutely not. Passivity tunes nothing. What we do is change the mode of communication. We move from petition to assumption. We go from "I want this" to "I am this." We go from "I hope it happens" to "thank you because it is a fact." In the second part, I will teach you the technique to perform this cognitive somersault. We will learn to use gratitude, not as a reaction to something that already happened, reactive mode, but as an engineering tool to create what is going to happen, creative mode. You will learn to hack the timeline by feeling the result before the cause. The technology of assumption, the thank you as a command. If asking confirms lack, what confirms possession? What is the vibrational signal emitted by a person who already has what they wanted? It is a mixture of relief, tranquility, and gratitude. When you get the job, you stop worrying about the job. You feel relief. When you are cured of the pain, you stop thinking about the pain. You feel tranquility. When you receive the gift, you say thank you. Therefore, to tune into the reality of the wish fulfilled, you must perform reverse engineering. You must generate the frequency of gratitude, relief, and tranquility before the physical event occurs. This is what mystics have called faith, and what quantum physics calls collapse of the wave function. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it brilliantly. Gratitude is the final state of reception. Biologically, your body, the animal, only feels gratitude when the event has already happened. If you are given an apple, your body receives the stimulus and secretes the chemistry of gratitude. But as we saw in previous chapters, your body is the antenna hardware. If you manage to generate the chemistry of gratitude in your body without the apple, the quantum field receives the signal. It already has the apple. And since the universe cannot allow an incoherence between your internal signal and your external reality, it is forced to manifest the physical apple to match the equation. This is the assumptive resonance technique. You do not ask, you assume, you do not wait, you thank. The "it is done" protocol. Define the frequency, not the object. Instead of obsessing over the specific object, "I want Juan" or "I want 10,000 euros, focus on the vibrational essence. What would that give you? Juan would give you connection, love, security. The money would give you freedom, relief, adventure. Those are the frequencies you are going to tune into. Enter the state. Tuning. Use your breath and heart focus, Chapter 2, to calm the noise. Now evoke the feeling of relief. Imagine that the problem has already been solved. Don't worry about the how. Just feel the weight falling off your shoulders. Feel the air entering your lungs easier. Internally say thank you, thank you, thank you. Do not say it as an empty word. Say it as if you had just received the news. Feel the tear of emotion in your eye. Feel the warmth in your chest. The declaration of possession. Change your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking, "I wish I had money," stop. Correct the dial. Say, "I am tuning into abundance. Abundance is my natural frequency. Thank you for the prosperity that flows to me." Move from future tense, "I will have," to the continuous present tense, "I am tuning," or "I am." The trap of hope. You must be very careful with hope. Hope seems like a positive emotion, but it is treacherous. Hope implies doubt. I hope it goes well means I'm not sure it will go well. Hope keeps you in the waiting room. Tuning is certainty. When you tune the radio, you don't have hope that the music will play. You have the mechanical certainty that if you set the dial in the right place, it plays. You have to move from hope, I wish God would help me, to knowing, I have adjusted my frequency, physics will do the rest. The art of letting go, detachment. Here we come to the final component of stopping asking, letting go of the outcome. If you truly believe you have tuned the station, you stop compulsively turning the knob. You relax and listen. If you keep asking and checking every 5 minutes if it has arrived, it means you don't believe you have tuned in. You are vibrating in doubt. Detachment does not mean that you no longer want the desire. It means that you are no longer desperate for it, because vibratorily you already feel it with you. You no longer need to see the money in the account to feel rich, because you have tuned the frequency of wealth, and you feel it in your bones. The physical manifestation is only a matter of time, the buffer of 3D reality we talked about earlier. When you reach the point of saying, I feel so good, so complete, and so grateful right now that I almost don't care if the physical manifestation arrives or not, boom. That is the moment. That is the signal of maximum purity. You have eliminated resistance. You have stopped asking, lack, and have started being wholeness. And in that vacuum of need, the universe rushes to fill it with the physical experience. Pragmatic summary, asking, tired, I don't have. Lack signal, thanking, I have already received. Abundance signal, your job is not to convince the universe. Your job is to convince your own nervous system that the event is already real. When your body believes it has already happened, the external reality reorganizes to reflect that truth. Chapter 9, Becoming the Broadcaster, Active Transmission. The vibrational domino effect. You are the weather. Up until this moment, we have approached the tuning process almost exclusively from a selfish perspective, in the technical sense of the word. How do I tune in to get what I want? We have talked about receiving signals, receiving intuition, receiving manifestations. But an antenna, by design, is a two-way device. It doesn't just pick up waves, it also emits them. You are a walking 50,000-watt radio station. Wherever you go, you carry your frequency with you. You enter a room, and your electromagnetic field instantly interacts with the field of everyone present. Have you ever been in a quiet work meeting? Someone who is furious, even if they try to hide it, walks in and suddenly the air becomes dense and everyone gets tense. That person just hijacked the room's frequency. They emitted a danger signal and all the receivers, everyone else, captured and amplified it. Conversely, do you know someone whose mere presence calms you? Someone who, without saying anything special, makes you feel that everything will be okay. That person is a coherence broadcaster. The premise of this chapter is, you cannot tune into a better reality if you are polluting the air with your own static. Many aspiring manifestors make a hypocritical mistake. They want to attract love, but they walk around judging others. They want to attract wealth, but they spend the day complaining about how expensive coffee is. They want peace, but they are agents of chaos in their home. They are asking to tune into station 104.0, love, but their transmitter is stuck on 88.0, judgment. And the universe, by the law of resonance, always connects you with what you emit, not what you say you want. This is where radical responsibility comes into play. You are responsible for the energetic climate around you. If your life is full of drama, conflict, and toxic people, it's hard to admit, but you are the common denominator. You are the repeater tower that is keeping that signal on the air. If you stop emitting the drama signal, people addicted to drama will stop finding you interesting. They will simply disappear from your radar because there is no longer any resonance. Becoming the broadcaster means ceasing to be a thermometer and starting to be a thermostat. The thermometer, victim, reacts to the environment. If it's cold, it reads cold. If the world is angry, it gets angry. Its vibration is a copy of the external. The thermostat, master, regulates the environment. It sets an internal temperature, say 24 degrees. If it's cold outside, the thermostat turns on to warm the room. It doesn't care what happens outside. It imposes its reality on the environment. When you decide to be the broadcaster, you stop asking, what is the world going to give me today? And start asking, what frequency am I going to inject into the world today? And paradoxically, when you take care of the emission, the reception takes care of itself. Because what you give returns multiplied. It is the echo of the canyon. Transmission protocols. How to clean your energetic footprint. If you accept the challenge of being a conscious broadcaster, you need to learn to manage your output signal. You need to ensure that what you are launching into the quantum field is high quality, because it will inevitably return to you in the form of experience. Here are 3 protocols for purifying and potentiating your transmission. Protocol 1. The 3-second rule. The output filter. Most of us emit automatic reactions. Someone insults us, we insult back. Something breaks, we complain. We are reactive mirrors. To be a broadcaster, you must break the automatism. You must insert a wedge of consciousness between the stimulus and the response. That wedge lasts 3 seconds. When something negative happens, stimulus, pause. Be silent. Do not speak. Do not write the message. Do not make a face of disgust. Breathe. Choose. Ask yourself, do I want to add more noise to this situation, or do I want to inject coherence? Emit. If you choose coherence, respond with a lower tone, with calm, or with silence. If you cannot be coherent, withdraw. But do not return the energetic vomit. By doing this, you cut the cycle of instant karma. You become an electrical transformer. You take the anger energy that reaches you, process it internally, and return it as neutrality. That is mastery. That changes the reality around you. People will stop fighting with you because you don't give them anything to push against. Protocol 2. The complaint vow of silence. Complaint is the lowest and stickiest frequency that exists. It is poverty FM. When you complain, you declare yourself a victim. You say, I have no power. This is happening to me and I don't like it. Furthermore, complaint is contagious. If you complain, the other person will feel obligated to complain to tune in with you, negative rapport. And together you will create a vortex of low vibration that will leave you exhausted. I propose a 24-hour challenge, 0 complaints. Not about the weather, nor the traffic, nor your back pain, nor the government. If you catch yourself about to complain, swallow it. Transmute it. Instead, look for something to appreciate. Wow, traffic. Well, at least I have time to listen to this audiobook. By eliminating complaint from your transmission, you clean the static from your channel. Suddenly, your desire signal is heard loud and clear because it no longer competes with the noise of your own dissatisfaction. Protocol 3. The secret blessing. The sniper of love. This is the most potent exercise for instantly raising your vibration and becoming magnetic. It involves intentionally emitting high frequencies towards strangers without them knowing it. As you walk down the street or ride the subway or wait in a line, choose a random person. Look at them discreetly, and from your heart send them a data packet of blessing. Mentally say with intensity, I wish you happiness. I wish you stop suffering. I wish you peace. Feel it leave your chest towards theirs. Do not expect anything in return. It is an anonymous gift. What happens when you do this? You disconnect from your own problems. You cannot emit love and feel fear at the same time. It is biologically incompatible. You place yourself on the frequency of abundance. Only someone who has plenty can give energy away to strangers. By giving, you tell your subconscious, I have so much well-being that I can give it away. And the universe responds by giving you more. You create a protective field. When you emit high frequency, you become immune to low frequency. It is your best defense against toxic environments. The boomerang effect. By becoming a conscious broadcaster, something magical happens. The world starts treating you better. It's not a coincidence, it's physics. Because you are emitting respect, calm, and benevolence, you activate those same qualities in the people around you by resonance. People become kinder to you. Doors open. Conflicts dissolve before they begin. You have hacked the social matrix. You have learned that you don't need to ask the world for anything. If you want love, emit love. If you want respect, emit respect. If you want abundance, emit generosity. You are the projector. The world is the screen. Change the film in the projector and the screen will change instantly. But one final challenge remains. It is easy to be a good broadcaster when you're alone at home, meditating with incense and soft music. The hard part is maintaining the clean signal when you go out into the real world, when traffic presses, when the boss yells, and when crisis hits. How do you prevent the environment from dragging you back to the old frequency? How do you fix the dial with superglue so that nothing and no one can move it? Chapter 10. Fixing the dial, the frequency lock. The entropy effect. Why it's easy to tune and hard to maintain. You have come far. You have stopped begging like a beggar. You have cleaned the noise, you have listened to intuition, you have interpreted synchronicities, and you have become a conscious broadcaster of good energy. This is all wonderful when you are in the tuning bubble, that moment in the morning, with your coffee and your meditation, when you feel invincible. But then you go out into the street, and the real world hits you in the face. Traffic is impossible. Your boss is having a bad day. Your partner snaps at you. The news announces a recession, and in a matter of minutes, your wonderful frequency of abundance and peace collapses. Your dial jumps from 104.0 to 88.0. You revert to reacting. You revert to fear. You revert to being a thermometer of the external chaos. This phenomenon is called vibrational entropy. In physics, entropy is the natural tendency of ordered systems to become disordered over time. A hot coffee cools down. A tidy room gets messy. A high vibration tends to decay if constant energy is not applied to maintain it. The final challenge of mastery is not reaching the frequency, it is sustaining it. Anyone can feel enlightened on a yoga retreat in Bali. The true master is the one who can maintain inner peace in the middle of a family argument at Christmas. If your frequency depends on the environment being perfect, you are not free. You are a slave to circumstances. If you need everyone to be kind for you to feel good, you have given the control of your radio to others. Fixing the dial means developing an energetic stability so dense that the outside world does not have enough force to move your needle. Imagine you are a ship on the ocean. The ocean, the world, will always have waves. Sometimes it will be calm, sometimes there will be a storm. You do not control the ocean. But if your ship is small and light, low vibrational stability, any wave flips you over. If your ship is a heavy, solid ocean liner, high stability, the waves hit the hull and break, but the ship barely moves. You want to be the ocean liner. To achieve this, you need to build energetic shielding. It is not a wall to isolate you from the world. That would be fear. It is a force field that allows you to be in the world, but not of the world. It allows you to observe the chaos without absorbing it. It allows you to see the suffering without sinking into it. It allows you to keep your light on in a dark room instead of letting the darkness extinguish your light. In the second part, I will give you the engineering tools to build this shielding. We will learn to create physical and mental anchors that act as superglue for your dial, preventing it from moving even under pressure. Stability protocols, the anchor and the shield. To fix the dial, we need to stop relying on our willpower, which is weak and depletes, and start relying on systems and rituals. Here are 3 advanced protocols to shield your frequency against entropy. Protocol 1. The physical anchor, the reality totem. When mental chaos strikes, it is difficult to think positively. You need something physical to pull you out of the hypnotic loop of stress. Choose an object you always carry with you. A ring, a bracelet, a watch, or a small stone in your pocket. Charge that object with your intention. Hold it in a moment of maximum peace and say, "This object is my anchor to the frequency of safety." From now on, whenever you feel the world dragging you down, an argument, bad news, touch the object. Use it as a reset switch. Upon feeling the touch, take a deep breath and remember, I am the broadcaster, I decide the weather. The physical touch interrupts the neural circuit of panic and returns you to the present body. It is your emergency button. Protocol 2. The observation bubble, tactical dissociation. When you are immersed in a negative situation, you tend to merge with it. I am angry. The bubble technique allows you to separate yourself. Visualize that you are inside a transparent sphere of armored glass. Everything happening outside, the shouting, the noise, the problem, hits against the glass, but cannot touch you. You are inside in silence, observing the scene as if it were a movie. Tell yourself, wow, there seems to be a lot of chaos out there. Interesting. This tactical dissociation allows you to maintain your neutral frequency. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't get infected. You can help someone who is drowning, but only if you are on solid ground or in a boat. If you jump in the water and drown with them, you are useless. Your stability is your greatest contribution to the chaos. Protocol 3. Hourly recalibration, preventive maintenance. Do not wait for your signal to drop to fix it. Most people wait until they have an anxiety attack to start breathing. That is crisis management. The master tuner does preventive maintenance. Set a silent alarm vibration on your watch or phone every 3 hours. When it vibrates, take 1 minute, just 60 seconds. Stop what you are doing, scan your body. Is there tension? Release it, scan your emotion. What dial am I on? Adjust. Breathe in light, release density, return to center. If you do this 5 times a day, you will never drift too far from your baseline frequency. You correct the course before deviating by miles. It is much easier to return to center if you have only moved 1 step. The final exam. Gratitude in the storm. The highest level of stability, the black belt of tuning, is being able to give thanks during the crisis. When everything is going wrong, if you are able to find a single thing, no matter how small, to be grateful for, you have won the game. The car broke down, it's raining and I'm late, but thank you that I have a phone to call and I am healthy. That small thank you in the midst of disaster is a declaration of nuclear power. It tells the universe, my connection to you is stronger than any circumstance. And when you demonstrate that unshakability, reality bows before you. The storm passes quickly. Help arrives from nowhere. You become the eye of the hurricane, the point of absolute calm, around which everything else rotates. You have learned to fix the dial. You are now a stable, powerful, and clean broadcaster. You no longer ask, you tune. You no longer react. You emit. You no longer search. You attract. Conclusion: the music is you. Turn off the equipment. Release the manual. Breathe. We have reached the end of the transmission. During these hours, we have disarmed the machinery of your perception. We have talked about antennas, white noise, dials, and frequencies. We have used technical metaphors to explain spiritual mysteries. But now, in this final moment of shared silence, I want to ask you to forget the technique. I want you to remember the you from the beginning of this book. That you who stood in front of the radio of life, frustrated, tired, throat hoarse from shouting and asking. That you who felt the universe was a cold, indifferent place where only a lucky few got to hear the music. Look at that you with compassion. He did the best he could with the level of consciousness he had. He believed he was separate. He believed lack was real. But that you no longer exists. Something fundamental has shifted in your internal architecture. You have discovered the secret that the great masters have guarded for millennia. The distance between you and your desires was never physical. It was always vibrational. Love, health, wealth, and peace were not far away in time or space. You didn't have to travel to find them, nor did you have to earn them through suffering. They were here, superimposed in the air you breathe, hidden only by the static of your own fear. Now you have the tools. You know that when you feel contraction in your stomach, it is not bad luck. It is your GPS recalculating the route. You know that when a coincidence surprises you, it is not chance. It is the universe winking at you. You know that you do not need to beg for what already belongs to you by right of consciousness. You only need to do the work of tuning. But I want to leave you with one final truth, the most important truth of all. Perhaps you started this book thinking the goal was to get things, get the car, get the partner, get the money. And that is fine. Those things will come. They are the inevitable consequence of the physics of resonance. However, you will soon realize that the things are the least important part. The true gift of tuning is not the music coming out of the radio. The true gift is realizing that you were never the radio set. You are not a box of metal and wires receiving signals from outside. At the deepest level, you are the signal itself. You are the electricity that animates the device. You are the consciousness that moves the dial. You are the intention that composes the melody. You are the music. The universe is not something external that you have to manipulate. The universe is you experiencing yourself in different frequencies. When you tune into love, it's not that you attract love. It's that you remember that you are love and you clear away everything that was not. When you tune into abundance, it's not that you get money. It's that you remember that you are the source and you stop playing small. Starting today, the world will try to drag you back into the noise. The news will shout fear again. People will complain again. Your own mind will try to revert to old habits of worry. It is normal. The gravity of the old world is strong. But now you have an unfair advantage. You know where the dial is. You are no longer a victim of the static. You are the engineer of your own soul. When the noise gets louder, don't panic. Smile. Take a pause. Breathe into your heart. Feel the expansion. And gently, with the certainty of one who knows how the mechanism works, turn the knob. Don't look for magic outside. Tune it inside. Your favorite song has been playing all this time, waiting for you to have the courage to listen to it.